Hello, I'm Elspeth Jackson from Ragged Life. I'm also the author of Rag Rugs, Pillows and More. In this tutorial, I'm going to be talking you through the main tools for doing rag rugging. We're going to learn all the basics about them, and you'll be able to make a shaggy or loopy rag rug for yourself once you've seen. So the first tool that I'd like to introduce you to is the Rag Rug Latch Hook. This is the main tool that I use for doing both the shaggy and the loopy technique of rag rugging. So it's quite versatile, which is what I quite like. It's got a little dangly bit here, which is called the latch. And the whole purpose of this is to trap the rag onto the hook so that when you pull it through the Hessian, the rags don't fall off. Some people actually find that that latch bit makes their life a little bit harder than it should do. So if you're one of those people, you're probably best trying to tape it open and see whether that makes you a bit speedier. The second tool I'd like to introduce you to is called the Rag Rug Spring Tool, and I absolutely love this tool because it makes the shaggy technique of rag rugging so much quicker and easier. With this tool, you're trapping the rag into the end of the barrel of the tool and pulling it through from the top of the Hessian, which makes things very easy to use. The next tool I'd like to introduce you to is this tool, which always confuses everyone, but it's called a Rug Gage. This is also only used for the shaggy technique of rag rugging, and you wrap your strips around the gauge, cut down the groove at the top, and all of the pieces that you get are the perfect length for doing shaggy rag rugging. The main base that we do our rag rugging on is called Hessian. In the US it's called burlap. Don't worry, it's exactly the same substance, they just like to confuse us all. The holes in between is what you're pulling the rags up through. There are a couple of things that you need to watch out for when you're buying Hessian for rag rugging. The first one is that weave of it is incredibly important. There are different qualities of Hessian. So you can see this type of Hessian here is quite hairy, and you get covered in the strands of Hessian if you try rag rugging with this one. And also it's a bit looser, so the rags don't stay in quite so securely. What you're looking for is a very even weave of Hessian that has roughly 10 holes per inch or 4 holes per centimetre. And you're looking for something that's quite clean, just to make your life a little bit easier. The second thing that you need to bear in mind is that you always need to hem Hessian before you start your rag rugging to secure it in place. Otherwise, the Hessian will fall apart, and no one wants that to happen. The next little bit of equipment, I guess, is an optional one, but I always have a marker pen on hand when I'm doing my rag rugging because you can sketch onto the Hessian and it actually makes your life a lot easier when you're doing design. You don't need to do anything complicated, but this is just a really basic marker pen that I use. The next bit of kit that I would recommend is a pair of very heavy duty fabric scissors. So this pair is actually a pair of rag rug scissors because it's made specially to go through multiple layers of fabric. I say they're the tank of the scissor world, but basically what you're looking for is something incredibly hardcore to get through lots of layers. And then the fun part of rag rugging is the fabric. Woo! So with fabric, you can use absolutely anything to rag rug with. You can use everything from kind of t-shirt material, cotton, denim, you name it. I've rag rugged with it. In fact, I've got another video which you should check out, which talks you through the different fabrics of rag rugging. But basically you are creating strips out of this fabric to do both the techniques of rag rugging. And that is my introduction to all the basic tools. I hope you found it interesting. This is all the stuff you need. Anything else that you see is just superfluous. And if you've got any questions at all, you can always head over to www.raggedlife.com to ask me any questions. Thank you.